If you would like to speak during public comment, please don't forget to sign up.
We are now in the time warp for the longest minute ever before the meeting starts.
Yeah. That is no.
Recurring gaming culture that starts and continues from meeting to meeting.
We have to decide whose clock we use, since mine seems to be slower.
How many times are we?
Okay, would you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? Welcome BOCC for March 3rd. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome. Have agenda approval.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
First and second, call for the vote.
Commissioner Chamberlain,
Yes.
Commissioner Waddell,
Yes.
Chairman Spaulding,
Yes.
motion passes.
Consent agenda.
On today's consent agenda, I have the February 24th meeting minutes. I have the Board of Equalization meeting minutes from February 24th as well. A green sheet for Megan Rudder, new hire administration, a pink sheet for Jane McClintock, a pink sheet for Don Kelly, and a pink sheet for Keely Eldred.
I will make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
First and second, any discussion? Call for the vote.
Commissioner Waddell,
Yes.
Commissioner Chamberlain,
Yes.
Chairman Spaulding,
Yes.
motion passes.
On to appointments. Tourism Marketing Annual Report.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sarah.
Sarah Jarvis, Chair of your Huerfano County Tourism Board. Thank you for giving us a moment of your time to share some of our progress and successes with the Tourism Board. I want to take a quick minute to introduce Greg Garrett, one of our board members who's given us great support, and also Bob Kemmerer, who couldn't join us today, but who we really owe a lot of thanks to for his invaluable contributions. So with that, I'll introduce Steve Santucci, who's the principal of M2M, our agency of record, to give you an update. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me this morning. I'm Dave Santucci and our company's Mission to Market, or M2M. We've had the privilege of working with the Tourism Board and Huerfano County for the past year. And we won the Tourism Board and these services through a competitive process. I'm really excited to work with you. We've got a team spread out here over Colorado. We work with destinations all over Colorado and their tourism. We work with counties and cities and chambers of commerce and nonprofits on the communications side. And so I've got really two presentations for you today to share, and then I'd love to leave time to just talk about tourism. It's my favorite topic, or communications for the county, and share that with you. So with that said, let me try to pull up the presentation and go full screen if we can. We see it up there? Yeah, cool. All right, so like I said, we've got two presentations. I'm going to start with a year-end marketing report for the Huerfano County Tourism Board. And I would say, first and foremost, like, this last tourism board meeting, our team hung out from the call, if you will, and then had a quick debrief. And we agreed that like you guys are our favorite people to work with. It's just, and I don't say that to everybody. It just such a joy. These folks, they just have a passion for life and what they do, and just come with great ideas and positivity. And it's just, you know, a lot of times when we work with people, it's like always just what are we doing? What's next? This group comes with their own ideas that are really good and thoughtful and help us forward, and we help execute those. We of course have our own ideas at times that we bounce off them, but it's just a real joy to work with them. So you've got a wonderful volunteer group that understands tourism, that brings passion, and I just want to emphasize that out of the gate. So we're based here in Colorado. I'm in Denver. We've got some team members up in Boulder. And then we primarily work with rural and mountain destinations. We're a major partner of the Colorado Tourism Office. I've been working with them for over 10 years. We do everything from like their frontline workforce training to mentoring destinations to working with them on how to champion tourism and tell the story of tourism and the importance of that. To talk about that for just a second, I mean, why do we do tourism? Some people may ask this. It creates economic opportunity for our residents. It creates entrepreneurship opportunities. It helps visitors come in. They leave money in the community that helps fund government services, as well as create events and businesses that may or may not be able to make it or thrive without that contribution to the economy. And the way that we work on tourism is not just to drive tourism at any time, all times, all costs. We work to understand, when do you want visitors here? What visitors do you want here that would really embrace your community and love it like you do, and respect it and use it, you know, like you do, in a way that, you know, just lifts everybody up. So that's something that we talk about and work towards, and just want you guys to know that's a big focus of ours. So we have a decent sized team that works on your account here. It's myself, Andrea, who's really the account director, Mary Howard, who works on a lot of the social media and newsletter, and then Stephen and I work on digital marketing, and Dustin is a very talented graphic designer that we work with. Our approach, we come down here, we do immersions. We've had a wonderful time exploring your county and really enjoy the people as well as beauty. Every time I come in and I see the Spanish Peaks Country sign and the range behind it, and my heart rate just drops, and I'm, you know, super happy to be here. We work the way we work. I was trained in media to tell stories, and so our marketing is all about telling your story and getting a little deeper than just high level. And then we do have execution across a bunch of channels that I'm going to talk about and how we get your story out. And then we also work with Colorado Tourism Office on the data, so we know the data of who's visiting, when they're visiting, how tourism's trending. So if you have any questions about that, I'm happy to share that. The way in which we get this out, earned media. So this is your PR, and I'm going to share some of the results that we've had, which we're really pleased with. Paid media, obviously your advertising, and then owned media. This is your website, your newsletter, your social media that we own. So what are some of the quick results of that on the marketing side? On earned media, we got this in front of media outlets that reach 10 million, but we don't count those numbers because we reach all those people. We really use a software to look at how many people do we really engage with that actually read the stories that were put out there, and we estimate that to be about 60,000 people really engaged with your content. On the paid side, same thing. We focus on that engaged side. This means like they watched the video, they shared the social media, they opened the newsletter, and we had over 50,000 people on that side. And then on the owned media side, we're really excited about the Colorado Tourism Office partnership. If you didn't know, Rob is actually a really great grant writer and was able to get this grant where we were able to generate hundreds of new photos and dozens of new videos. I'm going to show you one here at the end. And then your website, we've taken over management of that, and that has almost tripled in web traffic. And we only started working about a year ago, right? So in April, I think. Yeah, the traffic's through the roof. Sent a lot of emails, as we should, but then the totals, more than 150,000 potential visitors really were engaged with. Not just that quick scroll on their social media, but they really engage with the content that we created there. So some highlights, you guys are in Travel and Leisure Magazine. Westward, which is a huge Denver publication. Scary Mom, which is a great blog that I might not read, but it's pretty influential. Your website content. Our job is to make sure it's up to date and that we're constantly creating new content for it. We tell those stories. So we've got multi-day itineraries. We highlight events. We go deeper into the topics that help people plan their trips and come through here, not just to necessarily stop through on their way to another place, but actually spend more time here in your community. We also work with the tourism board to make sure the events are all up to date and capturing and driving people throughout the county to everything that's going on. And then we send a newsletter out with all this content monthly. On the social side, this has been a huge opportunity. We've really seen a giant lift in the engagement and the content that's put out there. You can see that some of these posts are being seen by as many 65,000 people and 3,000 people liking and like 100 people sharing a post. That's really, really strong. And then we've also ventured into the Reddit platform, which is really, I love Reddit because it's kind of a convergence of people who are really super niche and like, I absolutely love this crazy little thing, and then the general population. And so we can get to both of them, and then they can go out and influence other people to come experience this. And so Kuchara, as you can see, that ad when it was opening did really well across there. And our paid and social platforms that we combine organic and paid in social. So meaning we post, we create the content, and then we put dollars behind it to help it reach our target audience. A project that started before us, but we were able to bring to fruition was the billboard. On the left, you can see the before, which I don't think anybody was happy with, and the after, which we were really happy with. And the idea here is to help people when they come into, if they're just passing through, to realize there's a lot to do throughout this area, the Spanish-speaking country. Another cool idea from the tourism board was, all right, if we've got people coming through, how do we help them navigate to create a map? But then don't just throw that map away. Let's put a really cool poster on the backside that, maybe a 16-year-old might hang on their wall and be like, I want to come back there, or, experience again, or any age really. And so this is just an example, and then we're developing these postcards, which people can then mail out from wherever in the community, and we're featuring the different communities within the county. My favorite project that we've done is really this photo video project. This is going to build a beautiful foundation, not just for tourism, but for the county as well. We hired Kelby with Black Timber Media, based in Kuchara, and 50 West Productions, which is a video company we work with that's based out of Salida, and captured hundreds of photos. These photos are awesome. These guys are super talented. Kelby with his drone, and we have some amazing 4th of July parade video and fireworks video, and then we've done dozens of videos, and we'll take those videos and we're gonna post them on YouTube, and we'll promote them, we'll put them on social media, we'll put them on our website. So we're just at the completion phase, and now we're rolling all of these out for our audiences. So I don't know if we have audio or not that'll play. You can try it. No, not doing that. Try this button. All right, let's see if this plays. Oh, it doesn't sound like we necessarily have audio. So I'll just turn it over.
Let's do it when you share.
Yeah, I think I must have. I can back out. Let's
Probably just turn that microphone on.
let's just try it one more time. I'm gonna stop sharing and we'll just do it real quick and see if we can get it to this toggle on. And you had an idea as well?
Oh, I thought you might be able to turn that microphone on. But
Oh, this microphone. Yeah. No, I've got my audio muted, so maybe.
There's some where the road is walking. You should be reserved this small township. The holidays. And this wonder there's we have every people for the nice guys today. Less trials needs to track when they did. Spanish.
Right. Okay. Well, we got to play. It wasn't the best audio, a little chunky, but you get the idea. This is a brand video. This is more for like the homepage of the website, a place where you might want to watch a full minute, and then we have 15-second cut downs of skiing and biking and the art galleries and different aspects of the community that we can run and play in front of different audiences. So it's been really great collecting that and working with everybody in the community and the tourism board to pull that together. So I just wanted to share that with you, and we can share it out so you can watch it a little cleaner and give us some feedback. We can still edit at this point. So visitation, 25 results. At the end of the day, how do we move the needle? We had more trips. We can track this through cell phones. We see that there are more cell phones and cars passing through Huerfano County. The estimate is 3.6 million. Now, that could be one person coming 10 times through, but in order to count, they have to travel more than 50 miles. So it's not just your residents moving around or immediate neighbors. We did notice that there were less day trips and one-night stays. But honestly, those are often a higher turn on a community and cause more traffic and challenge in a community and leave less dollars. So we do focus on those longer stays, and those longer stays are up. That's the 2+ night stays that we're seeing in the community. We did see visitor spending, and we track this through, again, a report that we have from the Colorado Tourism Office that looks at all of the credit card spending, and that was up 3.5% in 2024. State, as a benchmark for you, is up 2.7% in visitor spending, which is the same as inflation was measured nationally, 2.7% in 2024. I know we're all experiencing what feels like greater inflation, but within that calendar year, it was only 2%, 2.87%. We know our top markets, Colorado Springs loves you guys. Denver comes in second place, Albuquerque, Santa Fe. And then we do have people coming in longer distance from Dallas and other places. We did see short-term rentals are up, which outpaced the state. And then commercial lodging, I can't, with the software we have, just put a picture on Huerfano County, so I have to do like a 50-mile radius. Otherwise, they reveal too much data, so they make me do that with that software. And this area, I should say, is up 2.7% in commercial lodging demand, which outpaced, again, the state, which was 1.1%. So my last slide, and then we'll take questions and discussion before we jump into the Huerfano County Services. Is our marketing, our goal is to engage about 25% more visitors this coming year to get those numbers up. We also want our visitation. I always try to go against a benchmark. So if the state's visitation is up, 2%, we want to try and be at 4% or more. Same with visitor spending. If we just say we want to be up 5%, if we said that in 2021 or whatever that terrible year for inflation was, maybe 22, we would have been losing the ground, right? So I always say we want to outpace inflation. We want to be more than 2% ahead of that. And same with lodging, we want to outpace the state. So these are general goals of just making sure we're growing at a rate that is sustainable for the community and is outpacing some of these benchmarks. So with that said, before we jump into the Huerfano County Services, I'll stop and ask if we have any questions or anybody want to add anything more that I might have left out.
I like the video.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Well,
Very nice.
I look forward to watching it when it's, plays smoothly. It's, I mean, these guys are so talented. Kelby is such an asset here in the community. And it was really great. We got an introduction to him and really enjoyed working. Yeah.
Do you,
I always have questions. My name is Ryan Geese. I live here in Huerfano County. You said that you're tracking cell phones
Ryan.
within 50 miles.
Right.
Come
up to the microphone.
So people online can hear.
Sorry. Ryan Geese, citizen of the county. You said that you're tracking those trips by 50 miles or more. Now, Pueblo is within 50 miles of us. So does that not count trips of people from Pueblo that come down?
Right, it wouldn't. Yeah, no, it's a 50-mile radius. It's kind of an industry standard of visitors counted more than 50 miles. And the reason you do that is you probably have quite a few people that are commuting, from Pueblo. We don't want to count it, So, yeah.
We also have a lot of visitors from that area. I live in our county, and 3 of my neighbors are Pueblo residents that come here for a week at a time and then go back. Is there any way to target those types of trips?
I should say, we are targeting them. They do get our content on social media, newsletter, website, and even some digital advertising. Just when they come as a visitor in our county, we don't come. So, yeah. But yeah, no, good point that we need to pay attention to our neighbors. And we do, residents don't necessarily get the paid digital ads, but they certainly get all of our organic work because we want residents to be fully aware of all the events and great things within the community. Tourism can really help lift up pride in the community, help with retention of a workforce. So that's, why we talk to our own community. It used to be tourism was really just run by hotels and exclusively focused on overnights. And that was found to kind of alienate the community and not capture and build that joy and love of your community. And that was a missed opportunity. So now the approach has changed. Yeah.
do you, when you're doing your media campaigns, do you geofence certain regions?
It's a great question. Sarah actually asked us to target the stock show because she's like, this is a huge audience and this is our audience and we need to speak to them. So we geofenced the stock show and served some of our advertising to that crew. But that's just an example of like one event. So absolutely, we tend to focus on pull up the locations, but anyways, I've lost it. We tend to focus on certainly Colorado, northern New Mexico. You certainly have a good number of people coming up from Texas. So the markets that are performing well, and then, we look at what are our expansion opportunities, who's not coming that should be coming, and we work to develop those audiences. So yes, absolutely.
Cool. I like the model. Looks like you're doing a good job.
Thanks.
Yeah, definitely.
I agree.
And do you have numbers on the average amount of connections on your website?
Connections,
Yeah, like people that do actually engage.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, Jeff, do you have any kind of?
Yeah, I mean, so there's sessions and there's engaged sessions. So sessions is like if you go to the website and you just go to the website, like that's counts. And then there's engaged sessions where did you like go to multiple pages and did you spend a certain amount of time? And that is something we track and I don't have right in front of me, but every month we look at did we increase that over the prior year? Because if we're just driving people to the website and then they're bouncing, then we're wasting money and people's time, and that's not our goal. So I know that our engaged sessions are up, and we do track that. I just don't have that on my fingertips.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Any other questions?
Did I miss anything? Rob, Sarah, Greg? Okay. Well, we love working with these guys. Like I said, it feels like a really collaborative, great team effort. They're just absolutely wonderful also about just making sure that, you know, we don't live here and we don't know the community like they do. We try to get down here as often as we can and experience it, but they really are eyes and ears and like say, no, that this event has changed, or this business is no longer there, or you know, if we say like for this photo video shoot, we need to go out and shoot, they've opened every door for us and made sure that you know, our team has VIP treatment and we get everything we need. So it's been awesome, and looking forward to working with you guys the rest of this year. So with that said, you want me to jump into the Huerfano County Services?
Sure.
All right. So we also work with Carl and his team to make sure that what you all do gets out into the community. Like I said, our team at the core, we really are a communications firm, and our job is to make sure that you know, your residents are informed and you know, that we utilize and grow the communications channels that you have, so that nobody is out there saying, I didn't know about that. I mean, and that will happen still, but we'll continue to unearth all of that and work towards solid communications. So really we have a few channels by which we do that. We've been working closely this year. Well, so let me just say, last year we were really engaged on the newsletter and trying to grow that and upgrade the content. And this year we're also working on the website and social media. So our goals for last year were simply to work on clear and consistent communication and content that helps build that trust with the residents and that source. And then for the newsletters to launch an updated website newsletter that really elevates the communications and highlights some of the good things that are happening with the community and important things that are happening. And then with social to set it up for success so that we'll be able to launch everything this year, which we have. So with the newsletter, we did a redesign. Like I said, we didn't start working at the beginning of the year, somewhere around April, I think, or May. We sent a number of newsletters, and we saw that engagement and reach continue to grow with our top newsletters being towards the end of the year, and we're seeing even bigger and better results this year. So we covered topics, everything from election results, just providing and helping people have a source for that, as well as communicating that, you know, kids ski free, it's dark, everything is awesome. And then the solar project, joint public hearing, just getting the word out so that you guys can make sure everybody knows about the ways in which they can have input into what's happening in the community. So the newsletter, we're trying to grow that, and one of the ways we do that is also to put it out via social media, and that helps us not only get the word out about what's happening, but also grow the following for your newsletter. So that was what, you know, the primary focus of 25 was, but we also helped Beyond Digital to create some printed flyers and these business cards that could be handed out that could also help people engage with the social media and newsletter. So if you all are out in the community or any of the staff, anybody, and say, I don't know what's going on, you can hand them something that can easily join and follow. And this also was an idea that came from your staff, and we helped execute that we thought was a really great way of, giving people an actionable on-site way to immediately engage. So our goals for this year, we've engaged to work on not only newsletter, but also website and social media. So on the website, we're working to update all departments. Now, this does not mean that's all happening in March. This will happen as we work our way through the year. And we're starting with committees, and then we're working to look at what pages have highest traffic level, unless you guys tell us there's some other level of priority. And working through that site, not only are we, going to fix anything that we see that isn't working, but we're also working on search engine optimization upgrades. So when people Google various things, that the county is the right place to land, we'll have, your website in a better place there. We also work on your events and update those on a regular basis. For the newsletter, we're working on growing that audience. We feel really good about, the content, but if you have any feedback, we're always open to it. And then on social media, we collaborate and meet with your staff regularly, and then we post weekly about various things that they tell us are priorities, and create that content and share that out in the community. We do then create the graphics that also go with that. So that's what I've got on the county side. It's been good partnership, and I think the communications with the community are on a really good path. And our goal is by the end of this year, we've got a really strong following, the newsletter, social media, and your web traffic continues to climb with relevant, engaged sessions there. So, questions on the county services and communications side?
I have a question for you.
Do you have a?
Yeah.
They like the question.
I'm kind of new at this. Hardly ever come over here. I don't have no laptop or anything like that.
Can you come to the, sir, could you come to the podium and then,
I was listening to you. I got
And then-
earphones. It's the microphone, sir.
yeah, the microphone, so you- and
Okay, well,
then state your
okay, I
name.
was listening to this man over here, and he's has something to do with you guys' planning and everything with recreation for young, because I noticed he talked about the youth. Okay, I think for a different reason, but it
Well, we have-
because I'm interested in the kids and they're growing up and everything like that, and plus for their parents and everything. We have a swimming pool down here that was supposed to be redone and everything, really cool and everything. And
Sir, could I hold you?
I
for a
don't know,
minute?
I might have been here.
We have a public comment period a little bit later. If
Okay,
we could
but
have
I'm
you do
sorry,
that then.
I didn't understand.
Yeah,
that,
that's
but I
fine.
just wanted to know if there was gonna be something done for that swimming pool or some recreations. Because when I was a young man growing up in Garden, we had two buses that would bring the kids down here. They had classes at the school down here. And they had guitar classes and different kinds of art classes and stuff. Then they take us to the swimming pool. And then we had an A&W over there.
Yep.
That,
Can we talk about this in
okay, I
in our
just wanted
public,
to know if
in our
if
public
there was gonna
comment?
be a
just a little bit
recreation
later?
like that for everybody, a swimming pool or something. But,
Harold, can you state your name for the record?
it's Harold Vargas, and I want to meet, because I want to represent my end up there.
Okay. Sorry about
There
that.
Any questions you guys have about the services? And
I think it's doing good. I've had a lot of good response from the newsletter. We've been passing it out, and the community, people have been excited about it. So
that means a lot.
keep up with what we're doing here in the county. So far good.
Yeah, love what you're doing.
Good. Well, I love supporting you guys, and if there's anything that you want in there, make sure you let us know. And if you do receive feedback, we love hearing that. But just doing the work is one thing, hearing that it has an impact is another. So we appreciate that. Yeah.
Very good.
Awesome.
Sure appreciate it.
Well, thank you guys, and I'll hang out for a little bit, but I I appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you.
Sounds great.
Thank you,
sir.
tourism board. You guys are doing a good job.
We couldn't do it without our working.
Everybody plays their role, but we really appreciate you for sure.
All right, on to Walsenburg Downtown Revitalization Mural Fest.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Connor Boynton Orr. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to hear my request today and kind of listen a little bit about the project that I'm here to speak about. It's very exciting. I want to make sure, did you all see a copy of the budget that I sent out?
Yes.
Tremendous. I do have a budget breakdown. I can happily get into that. If you guys have any specific questions. But before I begin, I'd really like to just sort of let you know that this is a budget that we've worked out very specifically for this one large mural that we're talking about putting up on 714 Main Street. That'll be the large building right behind Carl's Jr., corner of 7th and Main. It's a project that we've been kind of cooking on for about a year now, but we think this is the right year, this is the right time for it to come to fruition. And I want to assure you that this budget was built with a lot of care and scrutiny, and it's got a lot of comparison to industry standards. It had a lot of consideration taken for the artist who we are employing for this job. And if you have questions about it, I'm more than happy to answer them because it's a good budget. I can stand behind it. But I want to tell you a little bit about the history of this project a little bit. I won't go into expensive detail, but I do want to just let you know that this is something that came up very organic while sitting there at Dub-Dubs and talking with some other members of the Walsenburg Downtown Revitalization Committee. And we're looking over at that big, beautiful building and go, man, wouldn't that be a great place for a welcome to Walsenburg mural? Just a nice big sign welcoming people to Walsenburg. Try to get some of the eyeballs of those 3 million cars that drive that corner every year right there with something warm and welcoming and vibrant that represents our community. And if you guys know anything about me, when there's something like that comes up, I start Googling. And I was very easily able to track down the owner of the building, Mr. Dwayne O'Gee, who has owned the building since I think about 2013. It's been sitting vacant and it is currently for sale. But I've reached out to him and I spoke to him about what his goals for the building were. And I let him know that the Downtown Revitalization Committee was interested in putting a large mural up there, a large Welcome to Walsenburg mural for our 4th annual Porch Fest and Mural Fest, which will be throwing this Memorial Day weekend. And at first he was, I had a couple of questions, but very quickly he became signed on to the idea, which is really about giving a new sense of, unified identity for Walsenburg and putting it up big and bold right where everybody can see it, right? We have, a lot of people who have one idea about what Walsenburg is or another idea. We want to engage the community in a process to kind of synthesize some of those ideas and distill them into a picture that is positive, uplifting, and is right there on display for the world. And so he was absolutely on board with that. He'd love to see this be a vehicle for economic growth. And so he gave us the go ahead to start talking to artists, start kind of working out what this might look like. And so over the last year or so, myself, as well as the rest of the wonderful Walsenburg Downtown Revitalization Committee, have kind of been doing it. We've spoken to a number of artists. We've got a couple of quotes about what that would look like. We've kind of seen the gamut. One quote that was offered to us was for an incredible artist who would do a tremendous job. It was looking to be about $100,000 minimum. So we kind of, shook our heads sadly at that one. Maybe someday down the road. But we then found Mr. Matt Reffick, who is a Pueblo local who has done some of the largest and most iconic murals in Pueblo. Most notably, I point you attention to the mural which is on the side of the Sangre de Cristo Cultural Arts Center. You can see it from the highway. It's wonderful. It's got the color pencils and the guitar or people dancing. It's vibrant, it's huge, and it's drawn my attention for years and years and years. So I was thrilled when we had the opportunity to meet with Matt, talk with him about his process, talk with him in particular about his relationship to the communities that he's painting in. And he is a man who's absolutely committed to engaging communities, getting a sense of who people are, what they want to see, and then putting it out there in a way that is powerful and can shape and even transform a neighborhood or a community. He's got a lot of great advice and words about the power of public arts to make neighborhoods safer, to uplift economically different areas. And he's all around a person who just really truly believes in finding people, seeing them for who they are, and then representing them in public. And he's wonderfully talented. And he's also willing to work with us kind of at whatever budget we're able to get to within, certain reason. So we really like Matt. We continued to look around for a while, but we kept coming back. Kept thinking, this guy seems like he can do the job. He's pretty vocal. He knows what our circumstances are, and he really, really wants to make the project happen. He was more excited about the project than anyone else we spoke to. So I went back to Mr. O'Dean, the building's owner. We talked a little bit more about it. I talked to him about Matt's process of engaging the community with several sessions where there was some ideation, some sort of open-ended questions of what would you like to see represented? What do you think of when you think of Walsenburg? And then he'll synthesize that. And I brought that, process to Mr. O'Dean, who was absolutely, excited and on board for it. His goal initially was to see a picture of future economic vitality, portrayed up there. And that's something that I think, we can all get behind. But, I told him that at the end of the day, this is a piece of public art, but more so, in a sense, then it will belong to Mr. O'Dean or to the next building owner. It will belong to the people of Walsenburg. Will belong to the people of Huerfano County, right? It's the thing that we all will see every day, right? He's absolutely on board with that. He wants to make sure that we're following the process, very specifically. We're working with contractors to make any sorts of repairs or stabilizations to the walls that might be necessary. Of course, we're on board with that. But he says, terrific. I love Matt. I want to make sure that the work that he's putting up there, is suitable for, all people in the public. And I said, that's absolutely tremendous. And so he said, go ahead. So we reached out to Matt. I ran by a draft of the budget to him, and he said, this is fantastic. So we're moving ahead, and we already reached out to a number of donors at the statewide level. We've gotten to go ahead to put in a grant application to the Robert Code Rawlings Foundation. We've got a grant application to CHAPA, as well as to CU Boulder. And we're really expecting some good results from some of those grant applications. I'm also here to speak to you guys today, and I'll be speaking to the city this evening. I'd also really love to speak to the tourism board to see what's possible as far as funding and promotion of this activity goes. We have a number of individuals throughout the community who are excited about this project. We've been keeping it fairly close to our chest, but you know how these things are. People talk, people get excited, and people are ready to throw some dollars at this. But the budget that we're looking at is we're shooting for $40,747, which a lot of people might balk at, for a single piece of art. But I'd like to just reemphasize that, from my experience, both as a muralist, and somebody with an art degree, as well as somebody who's lived in Walsenburg my entire life and who's served on numerous committees around here, this is a good number. It's an achievable number, and it will result in a piece of art that will do a lot of good for the people who are passing through this area, and more importantly, for the people who live here. I believe that with my whole heart, and I would happily answer any questions you have, but I'd also like to just see if there's anything that you guys can do for us to help us keep the ball rolling on our fundraising campaign, which we're starting today.
Apparently, it's out in the public.
It's out in the public now. Tell your friends.
How do you get the ideas from the community for the content of the?
Sure. So I've spoken with Matt. Matt works weekly up in Pueblo with the community engagement projects that he does for park beautification projects. And so he has sort of some established methods. They could be a number of things. We've budgeted for 2 specific public engagement days prior to the actual event itself. And then there will also be probably like a community survey and such that will allow people to kind of, put in ideas at their own rate. But those public engagement sessions will probably take the form of, sort of a guided discussion of, like I said, what does Walsenburg mean to you? Just writing down certain things that people hear, people say. And then there will potentially even be some sort of more novel ways to approach it where people get the opportunity to play with paints, play with markers, play with pencils, do a little bit of drawing, and then, we'll open that up to as wide of a group of people as possible, and then take what comes from that process, synthesize, and not everything may end up, on the mural. We want it to be a cohesive and, sort of singular vision that's up on the wall rather than a mess of 1,000 different ideas. But what we're hoping this will achieve will be an opportunity to identify trends and things that people are really particularly interested in. We're also hoping that it will give a sense of community ownership and buy-in to this process, so that when they see the product up on the wall, they can say, I contributed to that. This is something that, I was a part of. And, just as an aside, Matt's also excited about on the actual Porch Fest, Mural Fest day, that Saturday before Memorial Day, he wants to invite the community in to come and put some paint on the wall with him. He has a process which he's refined over the years as a professional muralist. It's very speedy and involves, a specialized sprayer so that he can do massive works in a quick, time frame. But he wants the people to feel that they actually contributed to it and they put paint down on that wall. So we're hoping to get a lot of community buy-in to that process.
Cool. I like the idea. I think that'd be a good idea. Question on our end with the budget request is we have instructed, well, let me back up. We're going to be embarking on a manager capital project with the jail.
Terrific.
And with capital projects, you never know. You'll budget for it, but then once they get into it, they'll discover things and stuff comes down the road. So we've instructed our department heads to really mind the budget this year. We're kind of down to the wire.
Perfect.
So I love the idea, but it's on our end whether or not we can actually swing that.
Of course. And, I anticipated that, and I appreciate, the candor, of that. What I'd love to see today is any degree of support that you guys are able to provide at this time, whether that be, some sort of, small financial, support at this particular junction, whether it be just a couple $1,000s would be tremendous to help us get the ball rolling and show that show to other funders that the county's behind us on this. I'd happily come and talk to you guys again at a later date. It's possible that I can work with Matt and try to, be flexible on the terms of, his payment and the schedule for that. If we need to kind of kick the can down the road, you guys are the first, funders I've been here to talk to in person with, but I do anticipate a good amount of money coming in through some of these other funders that we're talking to. But if there's anything that you guys can do for us today, or any sort of pledge that you would want to make for future, spending, that'd be tremendous.
I do have one question on the only concern, is because I agree with exactly what Mitchell said. With that building being for sale, what kind of how would we make sure that it wouldn't get painted over by the next owner of the building or something of that nature? What kind of assurance is there
Absolutely.
that would not happen?
That'd be crazy.
That'd be horrible.
Absolute shame.
Yeah, spend all this and then bam.
Yeah,
Sorry.
especially if the building sells quickly because we put a beautiful artwork on there, right? But, so that is something that we're concerned with. We want to make sure that this is a mural which stands the test of time, not only because the building's owners or owner or owners choose to keep it up there, but also because it will withstand the elements in the sun. So we've got a number of provisions for that. We are still working out the language in our contract between the board, Mr. Ogeen and Mr. Reffick. And within that contract will be some stipulations around the language that the mural is described in within any sale that takes place of the building for X amount of years. It is possible to state that this piece of wall real estate has been claimed for so much time, and so it should not have this mural removed for, let's just say, 10 years. And so if the building were to sell, then the new owner would theoretically be under contract to leave the mural up for at least that amount of time. And that's something that one of our board members, Helena Capon, had to kind of engage with when she purchased GovGovs. That wall there on the south side of their property was spoken for. They were able to get out of that contract, but there were some negotiations that were required for that. Big time terms.
Good deal. Glad you're thinking about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? Thoughts? Well, we really appreciate it and do like the idea, but we're gonna have to see what our budget's like.
Would it be all right if I were to come back and talk to you guys at a later date and see if there was, any more flexibility a couple months down the road, or is there a time at which you guys feel like you might be a little bit more brief, or is the whole calendar year pretty well jammed up?
Well, just one of those things you don't really know. That's the unknown is kind of scary to predict. So, but communication is always a good thing.
Okay.
That's what we can see.
Well, I'll definitely be back to talk to you guys.
So after our audit, would that reveal that we have
Not exactly. I would say give me a couple of months, a month or so to dig into things. We're just starting the 2025 audit. Hopefully wrap up the 2024 audit this week. So I can see sort of where things settle at.
There's no guarantee, but
I can live with that. I can live with that. And I thank you guys very much for taking the time to think about it. And, I hope it sticks in your brain. And, we'll see what happens.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Connor.
thank you,
Thank you, Connor.
And then Brian, you had a comment on that?
I was just thinking I could probably wait for public comment, but I believe in the language of these meetings in particular, that it might help to just provide a letter of support from the county for the project in theory. Because that would definitely help them moving forward with grants from the University of Colorado, other nonprofits around the area, just for them to start with. Yes, the county endorses the project, even though we can't fund it at this time. I'm totally aware of budget overruns. But at least to start to say, here's some letterhead from the county that we like that project going forward. I think that'd be helpful to the committee.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, Ryan.
Excellent. All right. Very good. On to, we have no permits, licenses, or public hearings, so on to action items.
All right. First, I have resolution number 26-13, a resolution declaring certain real property surplus to county requirements and authorizing the listing and sale thereof. So this is our fourth surplus real property resolution. I think we'll have probably one more. Josh has a few more things to get back to us. Just another thank you to the folks at Daughter Abstract. We gave them a list of 40, 50 properties and they've been working through them pretty well. So yeah.
I will make a motion to approve resolution number 26-13. Resolution declaring certain real property surplus to the county requirements and authorizing the listing and sale thereof.
Second.
First and second, any discussion?
Heard a lot of good feedback from people in the community. They're excited to see stuff like that.
I agree. I agree. Call for the vote.
Commissioner Chandler,
Yes.
Commissioner Waddell,
Yes.
Chairman Spiller.
Yes.
Motion passes. Then I have for you resolution 26-14, a resolution amending chapter 5 of the Huerfano County Code to create the Airport Advisory Committee and making appointments to the same. So this resolution creates the Airport Advisory Committee, and several years ago, the Board of County Commissioners via motion created an airport management committee that, to my understanding, never really quite got off the ground. So we'd officially get rid of that and have this advisory board necessarily have any powers to make decisions, but to advise the county on operation of the airport.
Okay, I make a motion to approve resolution number 26-14, a resolution amending chapter 5 of the Huerfano County Code to create the Airport Advisory Committee and making appointments to the same. Specifically, the Board of County Commissioners appoint Ken Felix to serve as a member of the Airfield Advisory Board until December 31st, 2028, and until a successor has been appointed, and also Mike Cook to serve as a member of the Airfield Advisory Board until December 31st, 2028, and until a successor has been appointed.
Second.
First and second, any other discussion?
I think this is going to be a good deal to help us understand things from a
Absolutely.
pilot's perspective.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree completely. Call for the vote.
Commissioner Waddell,
Yes.
Commissioner Chamberlain.
Yes.
Chairman Spiller.
Yes.
Motion passes. I next have for you two documents that are the partner agency agreement between the county and Care and Share, as well as the host site agreement offering food distribution services to a county facility. So this is a request to approve the Care and Share host site and partner agency agreements, so the county can continue as a host site for Care and Share.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2026 Care and Share host site and partner agency agreements in order to continue the operating as a Care and Share provider.
Second.
First and second, any other discussion? Call for the vote.
Commissioner Chamberlain,
Yes.
Commissioner Wardell,
Yes.
Chairman Spillier. Motion passes. All right, then I have for you a request from emergency management to add the critical simulator package into the training recruitment efforts for the communication center. The system will provide realistic call taking scenarios that support ongoing staff development and allow prospective candidates to experience the nature of dispatch work prior to hiring, involving both preparedness and the quality of improving both preparedness and the quality of the applicant timeline. Critical was included in the scope of the recently awarded Colorado Apprenticeship Hub Grant, and the $3,000 annual costs for the first 2 years will be paid through that grant.
I would make a motion to approve the purchase of the critical simulator package at a cost of $3,000 annually to support enhanced training and recruitment for the communications center.
Second.
First and second, any other discussion or question? Call for the vote.
Commissioner Wardell,
Yes.
Commissioner Chamberlain,
Yes.
Chairman Spillier.
Yes.
Motion passes. All right. Then I have for you a request for emergency management to help with GIS services for the communication center. They've had an issue where they experience frequent inaccurate GIS location data throughout the county, which in addition to causing live operational delays, also creates reporting issues with GIS layers that are not necessarily accurate, either including or excluding locations which should have been captured. So managed GIS services for a period of time would give dedicated resources, fixing these problems and increasing operational efficiency while providing better data. Motorola quoted a 1-year service at $29,574.84 and a discounted 5-year service for a total of $93,511.90. But the annual cost would be $18,702.38. And we'd have the ability to cancel services at the beginning of a given year.
Okay, was this budgeted?
It depends on how long we stick with motivations. If we stick with the schedule that we have for motivations right now, I can cover it with dispatch professional services, but I may have to take some professional services from the other side of the dam.
What you do?
Go to microphone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me go to this.
Okay.
Because I had okay, to repeat what I just said, we can cover this with professional services in emergency management, but I may need to use both professional services lines in emergency management. One is dispatch specific and one is also emergency management. I say that because it depends on how long we stick with motivations this year for dispatch equipment. I will say the reason why there's such a heavy discount on the 5-year is our previous account representative for this quoted us a discounted rate, and Motorola is honoring it for the 5-year, but not for the 1 year because he didn't quote out a 1-year deal. That's why it's such a steep discount to go with the 5-year. But because of Tabor laws, we aren't allowed to opt out at the end of or the beginning of a given year for the next year. So my belief after talking with the communication center staff as well as manager and supervisor is it's going to take at least a year. Hopefully we can get this done in a year. I have 2 members of my emergency management staff that are working on learning GIS, but they're not advanced enough yet to do this work themselves. My hope is that by working with Motorola for a year, they can get to a point where we can get this fixed from the ground up and then be able to do it ourselves going forward.
So, 911.
Yeah, that might be a good.
I have not done this before E911 yet. We could table and see if E911 will contribute towards it, or but in general, I can also reach out to E911 and see if they're willing to fund towards this.
Do you have reason to believe E111 may or may not fund it?
No, I don't. It just depends on where their budget is, what it looks like. But
Yeah, I think that would be a good avenue. I think the budget is fairly decent right now because of the increase in calls, the cost for price for calls.
okay.
So they definitely have a little bit more money, and I think probably more than we do.
I
the
believe
grand
it's a
scheme.
meeting later this month, so I can get it on the agenda for that meeting.
And on the motivations, you said that could take the place of, or you would, the money that you have for motivation would cease for a while, or how's that work again?
We had budgeted for motivations for the first 6 months of this year. The hope is that our next 2 hires through the apprenticeship grant will then get us to a point where we can release the 2 dispatchers on demand.
So that'd be after 6 months-ish.
So you budget for motivation for the first 6 months of the year.
We're halfway through that.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna get through the 3 months and have 2 dispatchers at the end of 3 months.
We're probably going to go overrun that by a month.
Okay.
That's, I mean, realistically at this point, if we start the hiring process this month, it'll be probably the beginning of April that candidates will be starting. At that point, so then it's the beginning of July, presuming that they are on schedule with their training, that they'd be able to go solo.
Okay.
So I do think we'll end up going a month past on motivations, which will eat up most of my professional services in this bench. If not a month.
Okay. Want to table it until we can find out from E911, see if they.
That's what I think. Thank you.
You need a motion for that?
No.
Excellent. Thank you, sir.
All right. And then I have for you the another request for emergency management. President. That's it for a lot today. The primary cooling for the sensitive communications infrastructure equipment on Capitol Hill experienced failure and had to be replaced. At the time that we discussed adding redundant cooling in 2026 as a precautionary measure to better protect the equipment. Public Works has obtained quotes for the work. It recommends going with the lowest quote, TJ's Mechanical, knowing that past work with TJ's is pretty reliable. All quotes are provided for reference, ranging costs from $8,551 to $12,689.
I will make a motion. To move forward with the Capitol Hill redundant cooling project and accept the TJ Mechanical quote in the amount of $8,551.
Second.
First and second, any discussion?
Yeah, the wind up there isn't enough to keep it.
No.
Ryan Geese, resident. I looked over the bids, and I'm confused because there's one address for 401 Main Street. There's another address for 928 Russell. And the property is named as Capitol Hill. I'm not familiar. Where's Capitol Hill? Is that this building? 129 Kansas?
No,
Up on the hill.
Oh, on the tower. Okay, the tower.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's down.
I was- Okay, yeah, I was just confused by the 2 different, because I'm also aware of the incredibly expensive cooling system going into the emergency dispatch center. So I was confused why we're adding mini splits into that building, but
Separate.
different building makes more sense to me. Thank you. That was super confusing reading through those. Also of the 3 or 4, let's see, I guess there's 3 on, there's 4 bids here. 3 of them are very close together at $12,000, and we're going with the $9,000 bid. Maybe that's a swing and a miss. The other 3 are so close together that something's missing from the 9,000, and probably an additional cost will be later. But I also love working with TJs. Those guys are all great and they're well trained and really efficient. So just as a thought, thank you.
Stick you around.
Thank you.
So
For the train.
just for clarification, this building houses the servers for all of the county systems, including dispatch.
Pretty small.
Essentially.
So
Yeah, there's a few systems that dispatch houses on its own, but yeah, the majority of the county servers are on Capitol. Hi.
Yeah, it's that.
No update at this time.
We're in a meeting.
for the public.
It's just so people know. Why,
Welcome to the hot seat.
so last year, that heat wave knocked out our older air conditioning unit.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I do appreciate you showing that.
It was fun.
Yeah, I mean, you know, yeah. I'm glad that we are getting rid of this on there. So I'm sure hopefully more have that. Like,
And it's budgeted.
Yes, actually, yes.
we warned him, so yeah, he said he did.
I think this one I motion for.
And TJ's is the one that was AC only, correct?
Yes, I think that's why it's a little cheaper. And then Chris said also that there's some work they're going to do with that one to mitigate that cost a little.
Okay.
That's why it's a little bit less. I worked with Public Works on those quotes and asked them for their recommendation, and both for quality of work and for cost, they said to go with TJ's. Sorry.
Sounds about right.
Then could you restate what you said over there about the viability and the importance of that?
That is the backbone of the county. That is all of our servers, the infrastructure, the main network, everything is in that building. There are, obviously, there's a few servers that don't stay up there. Like some of dispatch's stuff isn't on the hill. Some of the jail stuff isn't on the hill, just simply because it makes more sense to keep those things local. But the majority of like everything that everyone in this building is using comes from up there.
Computers gotta stay cool.
They do like it when they are cool.
Yes.
Yes, quite.
Yes. And shout out to Lester and Chris that evening too, because they volunteered to stay late and make sure everything stayed cool during the evening.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah,
Here's an adventure.
New
it
experience.
was an adventure. You know? Yeah, I'm just glad everything worked out. So
Okay, very good. Have a motion? Or any other questions? Do you have a motion? Or is that?
I have a
motion and a
Oh, yeah, I already did. Sorry. Call for the vote?
Mr. Trimble?
Yes.
Mr. Woodall?
Yes,
Chairman Bluth?
Yes.
Motion passes.
thank you guys.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Escape when you can. That's the purchase number 2026-013 for Southern Tire Mart. These are for new tires for unit 354, the Cat 970 loader. Unit price, total price is $13,513.28. This is within Road and Bridges budget.
Yeah, those tires are outrageous, but necessary. I make a motion to approve purchase order number 2026-013 to Southern Tire Mart in the amount of $13,513.28.
Second,
First and second, any discussion? Call for the vote?
Commissioner Waddell?
yes.
Commissioner Trimble?
Yes.
Chairman Bluth?
Yes.
Motion passes. And then I have for you, their DHS vendor run for the first part of March. Total $22,274.47.
Make a motion to approve the March 2026 DHS vendor round in the amount of $22,274.74.
Second.
First and second, any discussion or question? Call for the vote?
Commissioner Chamberlain?
Yes.
Commissioner Woodall?
Yes,
Chairman Bluth?
Yes.
Motion passes. And then for the rest of the county, your vendor run for the first part of March, in a total amount of $380,707.29.
I make a motion to approve the Huerfano County vendor run in the amount of $380,707.29.
second,
First and second, any discussion? Call for the vote?
Commissioner Woodall?
yes.
Commissioner Chin?
Yes.
Chairman Bluth?
Yes.
Motion passes. And that is the end of action items.
Okay, on correspondence.
All right, just your leave balances for last payroll. Correspondence.
On public comment, each person will have up to 3 minutes to present public comment. Please address the board as a whole. No one signed up on there, but when addressing the board, please state your name and prior to your comments. Harold, did you want to get up and?
Sorry.
Yeah.
I guess I was falling asleep.
Yeah.
That means the fertilizer.
All right, state your name for the record again, please, Harold.
My name is Harold Vargas. I'm from Gardner, Colorado. I've been raised there and I'm part of the community. And I guess before the youth became commissioners and maybe even before the other ones, when they put this water station in Gardner, that was still part of the Cattlemen's Association. And when they put it in there, I got promised that they'd fence off the rodeo arena all around it. And I don't know if they came back with you with footage on it. But anyway, that was part of what really was. And I have the paperwork, but I didn't bring it with me. But Pepper, Wilbur, and Elton Kyrie, and then they sold a sliver of land for $1 to build a community center that had got burnt down in the either early 50s or late 40s. And I helped bring rock and everything like that to build everything around it because Frank Piazza had a plan on that before he even became a commissioner. That was built because he had hired kids that were dropouts and people that didn't have jobs. He'd give them 2 months and the kids 2 weeks, or they get on a youth corps thing where they get to work done and everything. And that kept them kids out of trouble because they went to school 1 day a week to the Walsenburg High School. Mrs. Maldonado was a teacher, so they could get their GED. And I was one of them because I helped haul a bunch of rock from the home to there. Okay, there was an arena back there that I helped the Archuletas that owned that piece of property. I helped them tear it down. And I'm the one that built that fence. I don't know if it was right or wrong, but it was from this end to the Tony Trujillo end up on top of the hill. And that was quite a few years ago. And when we had rodeos and that, they let us put stock in there when they come in. And I'm planning another rodeo. But I like to have it situated and everything like that. And what I was going to ask, if there was a way that I could have you guys, not just for me, but for La Vida and Walsenburg, for any events that we have, because that's really expensive with the economy that we have nowadays. If you would help with the spectators insurance on it. And what I had got promised was some panels and fencing. And that was from other commissioners. Well, Ray was one of them because he's the one that kind of a director on that water resource there in Gardner. So, and I said to myself, they could have built that resource coming down off the hill from the hill. It had a turnaround and everything. And another one thing that I have, I don't know if it's a complaint or not. We put a bathroom right there, right next to the water system and everything, and it's an outhouse. And when I was on I was on the water board, and from the old timers, they said no more outside toilet because that was to be. And what happens here in the last year or two, we have an outhouse right in the middle of our parking lot where the helicopter used to land. Now they got to open a gate to go away to a corner. Why didn't that bathroom get put in that corner back there when the helicopter drivers or whoever, the ambulance people, get off whatever, they had a bathroom right there? Because I don't believe that the people in Gardner need an outhouse in the middle of the community center. And at one time, they used to practice their CDLs right there on the community center, learning how to back up, go forward, and everything. And now we got nothing but trucks going to Grand Junction. they go across 69. So they're using the bathroom and everything. And for the arena itself, the reason I'm really here is we need the chain link fence because outsiders are, the trucks and that are pulling in there because it's parking for them. And it's inconvenient. So I would like the promise that the other commissioners told me, not you, but the other commissioners said that they were going to supply me panels and fix the fence.
Okay, we'll,
Okay, if
we'll
that
look
would
into
be
it.
possible.
We'll
and,
check into it.
Huh?
We'll check into it. You had, your time's up, but, we'll check into it. and get back to
Okay,
you.
that's all I ask, but whatever else goes on, I'll wash my hands off of it, but
Okay.
I know you, I know the
Thank you, Harold.
parents and everybody here, just about, but,
Thank you,
I'm a
sir.
man from, and I am a man of my word at times. Some,
Thank you.
say for something, don't fall on me, and, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ferguson.
Please help me.
Okay. Anybody else online or in the chamber for public comment? Nobody else signed up, but,
No comments online at this.
No.
Have a good day.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Harold. Okay, on to staff reports.
All right, commissioners, so we have a few positions open. DHS is hiring an admin assistant, 2, as well as the case aide and receptionist. And of course, the service supervisor position has been open for a little while. And the sheriff's office is also hiring for deputies and detention officers. So Tyler Technologies, we're working with them to implement new software for the county. We expect that the MyGlove solution, which I think they've changed it now to enter to some sort of more Tyler appropriate name. I forgot what it is right now. We expect to start that transition in late March and have the new software live by the end of May. The Rio Charles Inn RFP closes today. Other than that, I listed out last week's meetings. If you have questions.
We only have one hit on that RFP for rear chairs.
We'll see.
Okay. He's not right. All right.
It's in lockbox, man. Yeah. Sort of.
Okay. And nothing from the county attorney? No need for executive session. We do have a 11 o'clock information technology workshop and a 1 p.m. Workshop with Los Angeles County at 1 o'clock. So entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
First and second. Call for the vote.
Commissioner Wood?
Yes.
Commissioner Chamberlain?
Yes.
Chairman Spillier?
Yes. We are adjourned 11:16. Now, Anthony.
Good.
Great. How about you?
Thanks, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Ryan.
Is that already, you're gonna open them today? Is that report for tomorrow or for next week?
They'll be, I'll look at them today, but we're not doing a formal bid opening. Part time, but next week.
Sweet. Hopefully there's 10 minutes.
Hey, sir. See you guys.
I didn't even say that out loud, sorry.
Yeah, you did.